Hello and welcome. It is Gray Italo here, and this is going to be my UFC 200 Fight Picks podcast. So I'm going to be going over the card, who's fighting on it, what times you can see this event on which channels. There are three different chunks to this card, if you will. So we've got the prelims on UFC Fight Pass, 6:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Fox Sports 1 at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, you get the main prelims, and then the main card, the big shebang at 10 p.m. Eastern Time on pay-per-view. So this will be going down July 9th, Saturday night, T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas, headlined by Miesha Tate going up against Amanda Nunes for the women's bantamweight title. But that's the top of the event. Let's start at the bottom. There really is no bottom to this one. It is absolutely stacked. Every fight is killer on this card, and absolutely looking forward to it. To kick it off, we've got none other than Takanori, Fireball Kid going up against Jim Miller. Jim's had a few losses lately, but says his body's feeling better and he's absolutely ready to get back on the right track here against Gomi. I tend to believe him. I think that Jim is too tactical of a fighter. He's got great fight IQ, killer ground game, and I think that his boxing skills are going to be enough to mix it up with Takanori on the feet early, get the fight to the ground, and ultimately win by submission. I just believe that Takanori's willingness to get too reckless early and often will lead to some opportunities for Jim that he'll capitalize on. Miller with the victory. Next, we've got Gegard Mousasi going up against Thiago Santos. Just a guy with a ton of momentum right now. Has looked phenomenal. It's one thing to win in the UFC. It's another to win and look phenomenal while doing it. And Thiago Santos has done exactly that in his past few fights. Whereas on the other hand, Gegard, yes, I mean, a lot of fans of Gegard. I mean, he's been around so long with a 38-6-2 record, made his name over in Japan as well as here in the States. But for me, it's a hot and cold situation with him. He's just too inconsistent for me to be confident in laying a pick on. So for me, it's Thiago Santos that gets the TKO victory. And then to cap off this UFC Fight Pass prelim card, it's Joe Lozon going up against Diego Sanchez. This has got to be a barn burner. I mean, there's no way that this is not going to be a barn burner. Everybody was so stoked when this got announced because anytime you see Joe Lozon's name or Diego Sanchez's name anywhere on a UFC fight card, you're in for a ton of action. But to me, similar to the Takanori Gomi fight, it's Diego's willingness to get reckless early, often. I mean, just the entire fight winging these crazy punches that are so entertaining, but often don't lead to victory in the UFC at this elite level of MMA. It's Joe Lozon's well-rounded ground game, in addition to his just really solid and reliable striking defense and offense that's going to lead him to victory over Diego the Dream Sanchez. Now, on to the Fox Sports prelim card. We've got Enrique Marin going up against Super Sage Northcutt, the kid with a ton of hype around him, even though he lost his last fight by submission to Brian Barberena. To me, I think that he's going to get back on track here. TKO win, an early finish for Sage. I think he gets back to what he does well, what he's comfortable with, and I think that he brings that just quick, aggressive, precise striking game with him and overwhelms Enrique Marin to open up the Fox Sports prelim card. Next, returning from a long layoff, it's Rafael Sunsao going up against TJ Dillashaw. I love Rafael's game. I mean, he's a well-rounded guy. I've watched him and his brothers fight for many years, both in person and on their televised bouts as well. But it's just TJ Dillashaw with that top-level elite training in Denver. Incredible striking game. I mean, his Muay Thai with the coaching of Dwayne Bang Ludwig, that's just absolutely killer. And then, of course, the solid wrestling and grappling game that is involved into really a dangerous Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu trap for a lot of guys in TJ Dillashaw that gets him the W come Saturday night over Rafael Sunsao. And then we've got Kelvin Gastelum going up against Johnny Hendricks, who did not make weight. I mean, when you let it be known over social media that you're incorporating Whataburger into your diet, but you're laying off the fries, so it's okay. I mean, I don't know that that's the best way to prepare for the biggest fight card in UFC history, especially against a young killer in Kelvin Gastelum. Kelvin's had his weight issues as well, but weighed in okay, made it. Didn't have any problems, whereas Johnny did not look good. I mean, not only did he miss weight, but he didn't look good at the weigh-ins by any stretch of the imagination. His recent tumultuous, weigh-in history, how just really lost he looked in there against Stephen Wonderboy Thompson in his last fight. I'm going with Gastelum. I think he gets it done by decision or submission. And then to cap off this Fox Sports prelim card, we've got Juliana Pena with a 7-2 record going up against Kat Zingano with a 9-1 record. Kat returning after an extended layoff after her loss to Ronda Rousey. And just, I think that she looks great at 135 pounds. I think she's really one of the prototypical 135 pound female fighters in the UFC. Just a great, well-rounded game. Striking to me, her Muay Thai tops Juliana Pena's very basic boxing, and on the ground, I give the edge to Kat there as well. I think that she's got just everything she needs to take out Juliana Pena and go ahead and get her first victory in what is over a year. Now, let's move on to the main card. We've got heavyweights kicking off the main card, and Travis Browne and former heavyweight champion Cain Velasquez. I know that there's some people picking Travis in this fight. For me, I just think that, being that Daniel Cormier is also on this card, one of his main training partners is Cain Velasquez, vice versa. They look great. I like the way they looked at the weigh-ins. The confidence is there. They're coming from a good, solid camp in AKA. And I can't say the same thing about Travis Browne. So I'm going to go ahead and roll with Cain Velasquez getting the victory to kick off this main card of UFC 200. And next up, again, I told you guys this card's stacked. It's Jose Aldo, the former 145-pound champ, going up against the former 155-pound champ in Frankie Edgar. This is for the interim featherweight title in the 145-pound division. And most recently, we saw Jose Aldo getting knocked out in 13 seconds by Conor McGregor, whereas Frankie's had a really nice run lately of a lot of quality victories. This was one that I really bounced back and forth on, and I needed to make up my mind, settle into a pick that I really felt confident about and comfortable with, and to me, that's Frankie Edgar. Jose Aldo has shown a tendency to be able to, just fade a bit in these 5-round affairs. And I've seen that enough from him to know that when compared to Frankie's ability to just motor through 5 rounds and be ready for what looks to be like another 5 by the end of the fight, to me, I think that's going to be the difference. I think the skill sets are similar. They're both incredibly talented guys that have shown that they can fight at the championship level and win, but it's just that gas tank of Edgar's, to me, that is going to make the difference. We've also got Daniel Cormier, as I just mentioned earlier, going up against none other than the former middleweight champion in Anderson Silva. A kind of a crazy fight, but an intriguing one. Original opponent of DC's dropped out, or was rather booted out because he popped for PEDs in a USADA test. John Jones no longer on this card, no longer headlining this card with Daniel Cormier. It is now Anderson Silva that meets the light heavyweight champion DC. I just think that you look at the recent body of work, there's no comparison. Daniel Cormier, all the momentum, all the skills at the top of his game right now. I think that he takes this, and he takes this early with a stoppage victory over Anderson Silva. Co-main event, Mark Hunt going up against none other than Brock Lesnar. Brock Lesnar back at UFC 200, and he actually headlined UFC 100, so here he is again, still in there, coming back and making his first MMA appearance in quite some time against a knockout artist in Mark Hunt. Yes, I considered picking Brock Lesnar. I thought, if I'm going to pick Brock, what are the aspects he brings that can overtake Mark Hunt? Certainly the wrestling's there, but I think you look at the body of work and the experience Mark Hunt has in kickboxing, in MMA, and what he's done lately. What is the recent body of work? To me, Brock Lesnar, having been out for several years, not getting a taste of that UFC caliber combat he's going to be in the middle of really come Saturday night. Mark Hunt loves it. He eats it up and he knocks guys out, and I think that he does that again to Brock on Saturday. Now, the main event, Miesha Tate, 18-5 record, Amanda Nunes, 12-4 record. I'm going with Misha for the women's bantamweight title. I think she retains the title. I think she walks out of there with gold around her waist. And a little birdie might have, mentioned something that maybe there's a certain Ronda Rousey sitting cage side looking to challenge Misha if Misha does retain the title like I'm predicting. That would be really something else, to see her return to action and have these two battle it out once again in the near future. But let's talk about what's on the plate for Saturday night. The task at hand for Misha is Amanda Nunes. And yes, I think that, coming out of American Top Team, the recent fights Amanda has had, she looks all right. She looks like she's a fighter that's progressing, but there are some holes in that game that she has right now. And I think that the cardio is much better with Misha. I trust that much more than I do with Amanda. I think that the ground game, although Amanda's jiu-jitsu is there, she hasn't really shown the ability to finish and really preserve advantageous positions in both and really all positions of guard, side control, top mount, basically, butterfly guard on the bottom. She's able to get to these good positions but not really do much with them, whereas Misha does. I just can't see an advantage for Amanda in this fight, and I'm going with Misha Cupcake Tate basically holding on to that belt, and then who knows, we'll see. Does Ronda Rousey re-enter the picture, or is it Holly Holm that really gets a rematch with Misha, which I would be very interested in seeing myself. So that about does it. I think we've rolled through the whole card here, and it is a hell of a card, really. I mean, stacked from top to bottom. Really looking forward to these fights. And again, I'll invite you to follow me on Twitter at GrayItalo, GrayItalo. Love to talk some MMA with you during the event, before and after as well. And if you're on YouTube or SoundCloud, I welcome you to subscribe, comment, let me know what you think. Do you agree, disagree? Are you stark raving mad? Are you pumped about these picks? Let me know. I really appreciate it. And I'll be talking to you guys again soon. Take care and enjoy the fights.